I was 24, when this started, very schizoactively ricocheting in my own thought forms and only reciprocating at the forefront in notional. It wasn't until that I was shown how to identify that in center and in inward observing that I could put context to it. Abuse was everywhere, but I squirmed my own way out of my cycle. That was very hard to do. I juxtaposed my introspections, intimately and in recessiveness, whilst at the same time knowing where my footing was, when knowing the rest of my experiences and realities. At that point, all disciplines could and did enable observation, but it most certainly did not disable all of abstract literacy. Coming to contemplate that which comes to grasps and is witness to realities as they are engaged is a subject of constant conclusion in all one's life, my life perhaps no different, especially when young, and that's a delirious beginning as well. I just came to be the one equipped to approach a now consequential relationship to my environment, so given what circumstance of what is around you and around me had to say to existing within perceptual blind spot, so to speak. Coming to witness and grasp its experience. My witness of people of whom, themselves are always trying to do this, was something held in regard. It seems rather nonsensical that something so isolated in circumstance should come to reflect what would become the universal attitude and generalization when it comes to mental quality and awareness. I couldn't tell you where the stigma that ended and the receptiveness of a culture began so directly, because honestly, I think that confused the original assailants that got caught as well. But there seemed to now be a causal element. The fissure of perspective relative to a sociology of perspectives in motion made for choke point and observable contexts, that I seemingly always had to defend myself from existing at, but there was an age of otherliness, public educational and onlooking engagement to come in the wake. I decided that my life was going to be allocated to asking and understanding things. I am now 33, possibly my last year. It is no longer that kind of life. I existed and acted as though not in an interposition but a non-direct influence over the subject matters I came to engage as per my position at where I was. In fact, the interposition implies the arrogance. When you appreciate this, the size of the world comes to question and you realize yourself relatively to things and people that are not going to be expression of what you yourself are aware of in totality. Despite that, interposition was of concern to others, and if it wasn't the coveting of one, it was a removal of the thing that was apparently in the way of that stalked me. Grandeurs of consciousness and layers alike. No one seemed to find a redundancy in isolating and then making universal a form, let alone a person, when trying to control reality. More on that later.